Changing minds one thought at a time.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Motivate Social Podcast, where we are bringing you people who are changing the world via social media. I am Dr. Aikyna Finch, and of course, I have my lovely co-host with me, Vanessa Canteberry. How are you doing today, Vanessa?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fabulous. Today, we'll be talking about what does it mean to be enough.
So I came up with this topic because I posted a t-shirt. I have a little t-shirt line of Finch-isms. Imagine that, right? And one of them was, I'm enough, I'm loyal, I'm kind, I'm special, I'm unique, I'm kind, things like that. And one of them was, I'm enough. And I posted a picture with me pointing to it, and it blew up on all the social media handles because I said it's just a reminder. Sometimes you need a reminder when other people try to tell you otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was absolutely amazing because the response, because most people thought it was like I was feeling like I wasn't enough. And that wasn't really the case. Of course you feel that way all the you're always going to have times when you have that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But what it was more of an encouragement thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just have to say, I'm enough. I don't care what that person says. I don't care what this person says.
Mm-hmm.
I am enough. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I am happy that I'm moving in this direction or that direction. And all I need to do is step it up a little bit more to move to my next level. But at the end of the day, you are enough because he gave you all the tools that you need to get to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have the tools, guess what? Imagine you are just one certificate away or one degree away from your next level. You may be one social media post away from your next level. Sometimes you have product and you just need exposure. You might be one social media post away, one video away, one purchaser away from your next level. You just have to realize that you have the tools. You just have to use these tools strategically to get to your next level. So the question today is, what does it mean to be enough? A lot of people, on one of my posts, I do believe it was on LinkedIn, somebody said, well, what is enough anyway? And that's a good question. I was like, okay, it was an encouraging thing, but what is enough anyway? And so I would love to hear what you think is enough. So I'm going to start with Vanessa. Vanessa, what does enough mean to you?
Enough. Worthy. Sometimes we feel that we just not worthy of a relationship, of our gifts, the situation that we're in, being happy, being at peace. We feel that we have done so much damage that we are not enough. And so other times people place these perceptions into our head and we start thinking it and carrying it with us. And so now we feeling that we're not enough. That ain't for me. It's only temporary. We're negative. We'll talk ourselves out of our worth.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to be able to start getting into alignment to know and own that we are absolutely enough. We are enough in what we do. We are enough and needed in our purpose and our gifts. We are enough to be appreciated in our relationships. We are enough to know that we have so much in store. We are enough to knowing that just because we may not know of the unknown, that the unknown is going to be something that's a blessing in disguise. But just accept the fact that we are enough and stop questioning it. But we question it a lot because in our mind, that overthinking mentality, that small thinking mentality, that closed-minded mentality, that mindset that's so broken mentality, we think and we stay on it, stand on it, and we'll argue it down that we are not enough because we already made up our mind that we heard it enough and we accepted it. Well, we are here today to be able to let you know that that is not true because you are absolutely enough. You are worthy of just knowing that you are enough. We all have something that we are in position to do, and you enough. You know, have you ever thought about it, Aikyna? People, you will hear people say, well, why me? What you mean, why me? So you telling me that you know how to do something in your sleep, and you telling me that you gonna say, why me? Why should I be able to do this? Why did he chose me for this gift? Well, why not you?
Very much. Very true.
Why not you? But because they have not heard some positive reinforcement, they haven't been around people who could be able to pour into them and to ensure them that they are enough. They start to think it. I mean, I thought that many years for myself that I wasn't enough. Because you see that domino effect of dysfunction and you accept it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's a domino effect. If somebody who you always been around, family, friends, associate, or they are friends of their friends, or their associate, whoever the heck that is connected to your connection, and nobody have stepped outside of that to be able to see that they are enough to be able to go and stretch themselves, then of course you settle and you start rethinking, are you enough?
Mm.
You know what I mean? You start thinking that. And are you enough to be a parent? Are you enough to raise this? Are you enough to go to school? Are you enough to be able to start that business? Are you enough to step out on faith? Are you enough? I've learned something recently. And when you told me this topic, I said, oh, I don't think I told Keen about this. Okay. So it's this thing that I'm working on. And I think you know about that thing I'm working on. Mm-hmm. When I found out the name of the thing, I can't put it out there because sometimes we just can't put things out there.
All right.
When I think about that thing, that name, it's rare. But when I was like, I know there's the definition. I got to find this definition of it. And it came out to be what? Enough.
Mm.
And I said, you got to be kidding me.
Well, there it is.
Right? It's that confirmation,
right,
of knowing this kept falling into your lap for a reason. Exactly. It's this confirmation that you had to go through this tug of war for a reason. But stop tug of warring anymore, because now that you know,
mm-hmm.
now it's going to be time for the world to know, because the world needs what you know.
Come on now.
Because you are enough. So we have to stop allowing people to be able to put these perceptions of themselves off onto us, to minimize our worth, to minimize our discovery of ourself, to be able to think that the outer is what we really need when it's really the inner. So if we could get to your inner, you could be able to explore and see what's out there for you on the outer.
Okay.
Well, whew, Jesus. So you are enough. Don't sleep on that you are not enough.
I love that.
Don't sleep on knowing that you are not enough. That should be a quote. Don't sleep. And a lot of us, what we do? We sleep on it.
Okay.
A lot of us, what? Let me go pray on that.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
But Kina, you know I'm telling the truth.
I do.
Well, let me go and pray on that, baby. We got to be real careful with who are you aligned with when you are getting to the core of you.
Okay.
And sometimes you have to disconnect from those people who wouldn't even understand the discovery of you, or better yet, don't want to accept what they already know about you. That's maybe going to scare them, or they probably think that you are better than.
Mm.
So of course, somebody in the connection will need to minimize you. So we're gonna stop that minimizing.
All right now.
You can't do the minimizing because of what somebody else think. Their thoughts have nothing to do with you when they have not thought that they are better enough for themselves. So what makes you think you're going to be better enough for you if you constantly keep aligning yourself with them? I'm gonna stop and I got digress. What you think about that, Kina? Tell me.
You know, that makes perfect sense, you know, because my mother used to always tell me, you need to be hanging around with upper echelon people, and you need to make sure that you are with people. You know, my mother has a very large vocabulary, as y'all probably could tell. And you need to make sure that you are doing X, Y, and Z so that you could be around X, Y, and Z so you can get all the opportunities that X, Y, and Z gets.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and I get that. I get
Mhm.
that. But then there are certain times when you have to make your own seat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And
Come
you know,
on.
I have never really been a follower per se. I don't usually follow the crowds, and I don't really follow the goings on. You know, I stay abreast of what's going on in my areas.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if there's something in education, you know, when I was, you know, well, I'm still an educator, but when I first graduated, it was you're supposed to write papers, you're supposed to coach and consult, and you're supposed to teach. I do all three of those things because that's what I was told to do. When I wanted to go into coaching, I made sure I had all the certifications I needed. You know, when I wanted to do you know, whatever else I decided to do, it was always I was going to make sure that I was fully qualified.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in a way that was my way of making sure that I was enough. So one day, I remember before my grandmother died, she sat me down and she goes, I think I was working on my fifth degree then.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, why do you have so many degrees? And I looked at her and I said, because grandmama, I don't want anybody to say that I don't have what I need to get to where I want to go. And she goes, oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the point being is people, when I walk into the room, people don't see a person with 6 degrees. They don't see a person who is a coach trainer. They don't see all of this. No, they see a chocolate girl. You know, so they're already, I have stigma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then once I walk into the room, they expected me to be, hey, girl, hey, what's up, Gary? All of this, that, and the other thing. So when, you know, I have to make sure that I'm speaking of the King's English when I go up in these establishments. You know, one of the educators I work with, yes, I've witnessed your code switching. Well, okay.
You're code switching?
Yes. You're aware of code switching, right? Okay, so code switching, this usually happens in corporate, where we will speak a certain way with our colleagues, but when we're another way.
That's called code switching?
Yes.
I'm not gonna tell you what I call it, but okay.
So, you know, I said, yeah, I admit to doing that because one reason why is you have to know how to speak to the audience to get them to listen to you.
Yes, ma'am.
If I'm speaking to a whole bunch of white CEOs, I'm not gonna go in there, hey girl, hey. Greetings, Professor so-and-so. Greetings, Dr. so-and-so. Greeting, you know, that's how I'm gonna roll in there.
Yes.
You know, to thank you so much for being in this presentation. Today's topic is, and let's, you know, and we're gonna, you know, now I do throw a little colloquialism in there every once in a while, you know, because that's just who I am. You know? But for the most part, you know, we're gonna keep it on the straight and narrow. But when I was a professor, a dean at the time, and I had a 4-hour class, and these people have been working, and I'm trying to keep them from falling asleep on their chairs. Yeah, we had fun. We were laughing. We were discussing topics. We were doing all those things. And I was going to meet them where they were. Why? Yeah. Because they still need to get an education from 6 to 10.
Yes, yes.
I had to be interesting enough to keep them up. And we had to be able to be interactive enough to keep them up, because they didn't pay their money not to go to sleep in my room just because they had a hard day, So you have to know what audience you're trying to get to. And you have to be able to relate to your audience. And the point is that you can do that more so than every presentation be the same. You don't want every presentation to be the same, because that means that you didn't think enough about who's in the room to tailor it to where they are right now. Now, my rule of thumb is start where they are and gradually bring them up throughout the presentation so that when they come out of there, they feel like they learned something.
Yes. I agree.
And can you do that with Hey Girl, Hey? Yeah, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you can do it with greetings.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing. When I'm Hey Girl, Hey, I make sure I throw some vocabulary in there. I make sure that I throw in some different ideas and things like that in there that they may or may not have heard of before. And, we make it work.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm there, I do the same thing with my other team, and it's good. So the point is, why does that relate to being enough? Because sometimes you got to show them who and whose you are.
Oh.
Because when
somebody in the back didn't hear you. What did you say?
I said you got to let them know who and whose you are. A lot of times people put assumptions on you just by the time you walk into the door before you even open up your mouth. And I love it. I would go into conferences. I sit in the back. I have my hoodie on. I speak to people. Oh, hey, how you doing? I said, oh, okay. I said, I see what we're working with. I go in to sit in the back because I want to see what the crowd is doing, how the crowd is vibing, what comments are they saying.
Yeah.
And then once I get in there and see what comments they're saying, then when I come up the stage, I go straight for the jugular.
It wasn't ready.
We can ready to lay this out.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about bam, bam, bam.
Yep.
And we're going to hit it right here. And, as I was sitting in the room, I heard an example of this. So let's take that all the way through. Let's work it out. Mm-hmm. And then the way I'll formulate the presentations, by the time it's all over with, if y'all paid attention to the presentation, y'all learn how to make a funnel. Y'all learn how to work your systems. Mm-hmm. And you learn how to put out your copy. But I'm just saying, that's if you paid attention. But that's just how I do it. There's many ways to do the thing. But the point is, they left with something.
Yeah.
But they didn't think I knew anything because I came in there with a hoodie on. Yep. And I sat in the back in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got up there and dropped that hoodie, it was on and popping.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually the way it goes.
Yep.
I don't really want to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see exactly where you are.
Yeah.
I want to see how you react so I can meet you right where I need you to be met.
Mm-hmm.
That's the power of engagement right there.
Oh, child. Okay.
So that's what enough means to me.
Okay.
To learning how to leverage the skills and abilities that you have to move and navigate strategically to where you want to go. Using the tools that you were already given. Using the tools you were already given to elevate to your next level.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that say to me? I use the tools that I was given, whether by skill or by talent, to elevate to my next level. Does that make sense?
A whole lot of sense. You said something that struck a chord.
Okay. Work with me.
And I remember we were in Clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And this person was talking about all these different kind of things that the good Lord told her she needs to do. And she was coming in for advice. I don't know if it was, I don't think it was our room, but I think we was moderators in the room.
Okay.
And I think you remember this one.
All
And
right.
so you said what you had to say.
Mm-hmm.
The next person said what they had to say, and I was up.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of the person, sitting and wait for my turn to speak, the person turns around and asked, what did she ask me? The first thing she asked me was, did I have a degree? You remember this one?
I remember.
Yeah, that was a nice room. And I told her, no, I don't have a degree, but I can run circles around people. And then I went into whatever I had to say to her. And by the time I was done with her, Dr. Finch turned around and said, now do you see why they call us the dynamic duo? So then we went around again for a whole nother, she has another question or what have you, or another, as I would call it, excuse-itis. And I turned around and I said to her, what, Kina? Do you want to be broken or do you want to be blessed?
Mm-hmm.
And that was my question to her, instead of me asking her, does she have a degree? Right? Because of what she was saying, because it just didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told her, what? Don't worry about it. Don't answer it. Because you could tell in her voice that she was at the verge of tears. And that's not my intentions to be able to go that way. But if we in a conversation, if we want to be able to help you come up out of that thing, we go deep. We don't do surface. We go deep. Right? And so, she had all these excuse-itis. And by the time we was done with that room, she was okay. And she was following me all over social media. She haven't asked that question since. See, this is the thing. Being an introvert is hard. People think this stuff is easy. This is some hard stuff to be seen. Mm-hmm. We're not the person look at me type of individuals at all.
You're right.
I know when we open up our mouth, oh yeah, people definitely will listen. But just to be able to look at me, no. But see, a lot of people continue to follow those, look at me and get disappointed. Mm-hmm. And then they overlook the ones that got energy, that sit back in the back of the room, that pays attention to the energy, pays attention to the environment, pay attention to the people, take notes, and then come in for the kill. But I forgot. You kept overlooking because you was looking for those people with the, ooh, look at me mentality. Again, you have to understand you don't have to align yourself with individuals just to fit in.
That's true. That's true.
Because you are enough. You're enough in your own right. You are enough. So we have to get out of our own way. As Dr. Finch said, you have to know whose you are. Mm-hmm. We got to stop connecting ourselves with other people because we have known them for a long time. We value their opinion, and they don't even value their own opinion. So why are you valuing their opinion about you? It makes no sense, right?
I understand that.
So we have to be very careful when you go and reach out and connect with those people who you see yourself connecting with. Mm-hmm. Stop waiting for people who don't get it permission. Stop asking for permission from people who just don't get it, because you are absolutely enough. You are deserving and worthy of everything that comes your way. No matter, oh, I didn't do enough of this. Oh, I did this much, whatever. Right. You are enough. Don't minimize yourself. You've been minimizing yourself for a long time. This is your time to shine. We are in 2021, and you need to sit down, take notes, know your worth, and get to work.
All right, now. I love it. I love it. I think as we wind down, because we're actually going to start doing more 30-minute type of situations, mm-hmm. so that we can share them more on IGTV and things like that. So you'll be seeing us. We do this monthly. Mm-hmm. And we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube Live, and on LinkedIn Live. Mm-hmm. And come and chat with us. It's every third Thursday of the month, Monday of the month. We're just a little late this week, but it's every third Monday of the month. And we just want to connect with you, chat with you. We bring you topics that, you know, most people don't just sit there and try to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
And
Good, Dr.
it's
Finch.
amazing what comes out of what we're discussing.
Mm-hmm.
We want to see you back here next month, third Monday of the month, and on forward. And while you're waiting, please follow us. Also on Clubhouse, we have our Clubhouse room, which we're probably going to hop into now and finish this conversation over there. So come up, if you're in Clubhouse, come on over there and join the conversation with us. You will love it. And also join the Change Your Minds Online club room.
Mm-hmm.
You will love it.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Vanessa, any closing words?
You are enough. And don't let nobody tell you anything different. You are enough. So make sure you stay connected with us, because we're going to push the word until you understand you are definitely enough. Enough of enough. But you got to stop settling for less.
Exactly. And follow us on Change Your Minds Online on all social media. Change Your Minds Online without the E. Change Your Mind Online without the E on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is Change Your Minds Online. And we look forward to talking with you, networking with you, really connecting with you. Why? Because we have our podcast, Motivate Social. Also come over there. We're getting ready to fire up season 4. Yes. And so you'll love what we have in store for you there. And then, of course, we have the Motivate Social Circle coming in the works. That's where like-minded people come and build together.
Mm-hmm.
So,
keyword.
Yes, you have a dream and an aspiration, and you know that you may be a visionary, but you don't have those other skill sets. Somebody in the group does. And the 2 of y'all could collaborate, 3 of y'all could collaborate, and boom, history's made. You know, I'm a connector. I remember I had my conference in 2018, and I still see people who had connected at that conference and are still going together strong today.
Yeah.
So let those real connections happen. And so more to come on that membership site. Yes, you will be a member. We'll have standard and VIP options. So, you know, of course, you know, I love a good VIP, but, you know, standard's going to be hot too. So with that being said, thank you so much, Vanessa. You are awesome.
Oh, you are too. We are the dynamic duo for a reason, girl.
Yes. And so come over to changeyourmindsonline.com, listen to the broadcast, get our books, find out more information about us, join our newsletter so that you can get more information, get the replays of what we're putting out, and then also comment to us. Watch these replays and let us know what you think.
Yep.
So until next time, bye everyone.
Goodbye.